Hello, welcome to the No Cap Show. My name is Philip. Go ahead and cue the intro.
Welcome to the No Cap Show. Yeah, you already know. Chris and Philip commentary on the go.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? I just came across an article about Hewlett and Packard leaving California, and it just kind of brought back some memories because that was one of my first desktop computers I ever had. As a kid growing up, my dad had gotten it for me so that I could play some Counter-Strike back in the day. I was just really addicted to Counter-Strike. But then I went online to just search what was going on, because I know there's a handful of companies that were planning to leave California. I wasn't sure how much. For those who don't know, I'm originally from California. I was born in Los Angeles. I lived in West Covina for until I was 4 years old, and then my mom's business didn't pop off, so we went to a city called Bell Gardens, and I pretty much lived there until I was 18, and then my mom moved to Baldwin Park. But let's check what the news. Let me see. So here's a list of all the companies that have recently left.
Why are so many companies leaving California? Headquarters that have moved include Chevron, SpaceX, Charles Schwab, Oracle, Tesla, AECOM, Wells Fargo Wealth Management, Neutrogena, Palantir, John Paul Mitchell, Yamaha announced they're leaving, same with Public Storage. Even CBRE, the company that tracks companies that leave California, left California. In the last decade, hundreds have taken their business out of state, taking thousands of jobs with them. Even if you talk to the independent business owner here, you'll hear the same thing. It's hard doing business in California. Say you want to start a business. Let's just get out of the way the astronomically expensive rent, labor, energy, and local taxes. Add a constant stream of inspections, fees, permits, and compliance requirements. A lot of those fall into California state regulations. We obviously need regulations. Like, I am stoked I did not work in a factory as a child. But here's the issue. It's been estimated that California has over 400,000 regulatory restrictions. That's 100,000 more than the next closest state. There's been multiple studies that say too many regulations can stall an economy, entrepreneurship, and investment. So let's look at where a lot of these companies relocate to: Florida, Tennessee, and Texas. What do all three of those have in common? Zero income tax. None. California has the highest marginal income tax in the country. A successful business owner here, their top income could be taxed 13.3%, which is a lot. California is one of the best places, and everyone here, big or small, should have the opportunity to be successful.
Newsom thought this would be an envy of the world. So apparently they built a bridge, but it's like an unfinished. Well, no, actually, this is a bridge for like wildlife, but it was never finished. So basically, a bunch of money that was spent on like just dumb stuff. Let's take a look.
I can't even tell you how special it is to be here. I've spent 14 years of my life working on this. We're holding reserves to finish construction. All those are exhausted at this point. We need your help one more time to get us to the finish line.
Gavin thought this would be the envy of the world.
And will inspire examples like this all across the rest of the country and around the rest of the world. California, eat your heart out. Washington, D.C., eat your heart out. Washington, and eat your heart out. Florida.
But more than $100 million, and 4 years later, that bridge is going nowhere. It's still not finished, and the dollar signs keep growing. Here to discuss, Chris Bedford, author of the Beltway Brief. All right, Chris. Newsom actually wanted more of these wildlife bridges.
He thought it was going to be an example for the entire planet. He thought that the country would follow. California is leading the way. He's always talking about that, but they're leading it to nowhere. They've got bridges like this. They've got unfinished projects, the high-speed rail. It's a disaster through and through. And by the way, people are watching because they see what President Trump's doing, and they're saying, you know, our executives actually have a little bit of power to do something about this. They're not powerless, so it's on him.
Now, high taxes, bad policies are driving out wealthy residents. Chris, what can you tell us?
The main thing that's driving out a lot of these different billionaires is the proposed one-time wealth tax, which would take 5% or $50 million out of every $1 billion of your net assets in order to pay for everyone else that's fleeing California. You're looking up here, you got Elon Musk, Larry Page, Sergey Brin. These are the guys who've been credited as being the crown jewels of California for years. They're the people who would say, hey, look, California's got its issues, but look at this glittering thing, the technologists. And now they're all saying, you're just going to raid my already taxed money in my savings account?
I think we should go through them one by one, because just think of the tax dollars. Reasonable taxation would have been brought in by Elon Musk. $823.9 billion net worth, and now in Texas. Larry Page, obviously co-founder of Alphabet, worth 250. I mean, think of the money. They're moving all that stuff to Delaware. Sergey Brin, Очень хорошо, that's in Russian, net worth $233 billion, also board members. So, and Zuckerberg, you know, so he's going to Florida as well. So he's going down, living in the Miami area, and said, I'm done.
And why wouldn't you want to get out? And they're trying.
I think that's kind of old news for those guys that are planning to leave, but I think they also put out that they wanted to have an exit tax for people that are leaving. I was a little bit worried about that when I left. I left around 2013 to the Midwest, and I think it was like maybe 2 years after, like, they brought it up, and I forgot where did they bring it up at, but they were saying that they wanted an exit tax for anyone who planned to leave California. I was like, how the hell are they going to plan to freaking tax people like that? Like, how do you measure somebody's wealth who's like at the bottom of the totem pole, you know? So I was a little nervous about that, because, you know, the government's going to get what it wants. So I was a little bit, you know, nervous about that. And I was already thinking, like, man, if I get a warrant for this stuff, I'm just never going to go back to California. Holy crap, that is crazy. Let me see, what else did I see on here earlier? Oh, no, Yamaha's pulling out. Damn, and they've been there for 50 years, and Yamaha's going to Georgia. Then you have, what is this? You have Caterpillar leaving Illinois to Texas. Oh, this guy has a really good, I think I was watching his video yesterday. It was pretty good, what he had to say. But overall, I just wanted to mention that, you know, even though I left California still sits pretty close to my heart. Majority of my family is in California right now as we speak. I have maybe one uncle who lives in Washington State with his family, but I think it's like, you know, 4 or 5 of them over there. But these companies that pull out of California really worries me, because basically they're leaving, and then, you know, obviously the revenue will not be there. So the burden is going to be on people that are left behind, and then they're going to have to basically pay for the whatever, you know, the check is. And my mom is there, so I'm just a little bit worried. And, you know, it's only going to make the state even worse. And I'm just worried about my mom, my cousins over there, my aunt, my uncle. Like, I've also tried to get them to move out here, but apparently they don't like the cold, and it's just like, you just got to deal with it for a couple months. It ain't that bad. All right, let's listen to this dude. Let me see what he has to say.
Just looked at the state, did the math, and said, we're done. Tesla, GM, Ford. 3 companies, thousands of jobs, gone. But here's the thing. It's not just cars. It's Chevron, it's Valero, it's Oracle, it's Hewlett-Packard. That's just the beginning.
More than 1,700 General Motors employees recently received indefinite layoff notices. These are not temporary furloughs or short-term production pauses. Indefinite layoffs often mean jobs that may never return.
Now look at what GM is doing. Indefinite. Jobs that may never return. Now these GM cuts are happening across the country. Michigan, Ohio, Kansas. But here's what matters to you. GM has been in California since 1962. Design studios, tech centers, engineering hubs. And now, Newsom is publicly attacking their CEO. GM sold us out. Mary Barra sold us out. That's not a negotiation. That's a temper tantrum. And Ford, well, The company that built the Mustang, listen to what they said.
California Design Studio would close by November, affecting 263 employees, nearly 100 of them engineers who spent years developing hardware for the company's most iconic vehicles.
Ford's Irvine Design Studio is closed. 263 employees, 100 of them engineers, the people who designed the cars that you drive. Now, look, Ford offered most of them jobs in Long Beach or Michigan, but that's not the point. The point is, Ford looked at Orange County, one of the wealthiest counties in America, and said, yo, we're out. Tesla, GM, Ford, 3 companies, 1 message. California is not worth it anymore. But here's what they don't want you to see. This isn't just about cars. This is about everything. Let's talk about energy. Chevron, been in California since 1879. That's 145 years. August 2024, they announced they're moving their headquarters to Houston, Texas. A company that's been here since before your great-great-grandparents were born, looked at Sacramento and said, yo, we're done. But that's not even the crazy part. Valero, one of the largest energy companies in America, they just announced they're taking a $1.1 billion, that's with a B, dollar loss, just to get out of California by April 2026. Let that sink in. A company is willing to lose $1 billion rather than deal with Gavin Newsom's regulations. That's not a business decision. That is an escape. And Phillips 66, well, closing their LA refinery, 600 employees, 300 contractors, done by the end of 2025. That's like in 15 days. California used to have 40 to 50 refineries. You know how many they have now? 7. But it's not just energy. Tech. Oracle left for Austin. Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, well, they left for Houston. Hewlett-Packard was born in a garage in Palo Alto. Palantir, they left for Denver. SpaceX, Elon moved that to Texas. X, formerly Twitter, Texas. Finance, Charles Schwab moved to Texas. CBRE, largest commercial realtor, Texas. Realtor.com just moved from Santa Clara County to Austin, February 2025. Let's talk about people. Joe Rogan, the biggest podcaster on the planet, left LA for Austin. You know what he said? I want freedom. Patrick Bet-David, Valuetainment, built his entire career in California, left for Texas, and now he's in Florida. You know what he said? California is not a pro-business state. 360 companies have left California since 2018. 700,000 people left just between 2022 and 2023. This isn't an exodus. This is an evacuation. Now let me show you why they're leaving, because it's not complicated.
Reached 17 cents per kilowatt hour, compared to just 6 cents in Texas. That gap adds tens of millions in annual overhead for a plant the size of Fremont.
Look at this, 17 cents versus 6 cents. California charges almost 3 times what Texas charges, just for electricity. For a factory like Tesla's Fremont plant, that's tens of millions of dollars every single year. And it's not just electricity.
This disruption landed in a state already known for its complex regulatory requirements, high labor costs, and expensive real estate.
Complex regulatory requirements, high labor costs, expensive real estate. Now, let me give you the numbers. A factory worker in California, $52 an hour, fully loaded. Same worker in Texas, $32 an hour. That's a 60% premium just to operate here instead of there.
In the first quarter of 2024, Tesla's profits fell sharply, down 55% compared to the same period last year. The company reported $1.13 billion in net income, a steep drop from $2.51 billion the year before.
And look at what's happening to their bottom line, down 55%, from $2.5 billion to $1.1 billion. And when profits collapse like that, when every dollar counts, when survival is on the line, you cut the most expensive state first, and that's California, every single time. Now, let me tell you something most people don't know. That Tesla factory in Fremont, right up the street from here, it's been through this before, 3 times. 1962, General Motors opens the Fremont assembly plant, state-of-the-art, 7,000 workers. By the late 70s, it was a disaster. The union president called it, and I quote, the worst workforce in the automobile industry in the United States. 1982, GM shuts it down. Thousands of jobs gone. 1984, Toyota partners with GM, creates NUMMI. They train the same workers the Toyota way. and turn that disaster into one of the best factories in America. 428,000 cars a year at its peak. 2009, GM goes bankrupt, pulls out, NUMMI shuts down. 2010, Tesla buys the factory for $42 million, a fraction of its value. California throws in $15 million in tax credits. Elon turns it into the crown jewel of electric vehicles, manufacturing 20,000 workers. Model S, Model 3, Model Y, Model X. That's sexy, by the way. And now, 3,300 jobs gone. Profits down 55%. Headquarters moved to Texas. 3 lives, 3 collapses. Every single time California squeezed too hard, the factory broke, and it's happening again. So what does our Governor Newsom do? Does he say, how do we keep these jobs? Does he say, hey, what can California do differently? Does he look in the mirror, except to comb his hair? No. He goes on TV and he says, GM sold us out. Mary Barra sold us out. Mary Barra didn't raise electricity rates 300% higher than Texas. Mary Barra didn't create the most complex regulatory environment in America. Mary Barra didn't make California the most expensive place to do business in the country. You did that. Sacramento did that. And now you're mad that companies are doing math? Valero is taking $1 billion loss just to escape your regulations. It cracks me up when I'm saying this. That's not a business decision. That's a restraining order. Now, here's what nobody's telling you. When Tesla cuts 3,300 jobs, when Chevron moves to Texas, when Valero takes $1 billion loss to leave, when refinery after refinery shuts down, who do you think pays for that? You do. Less tax revenue means higher taxes on everyone who stays. Fewer refineries means gas prices at the pump. Fewer jobs means more competition for jobs that are left. Your property taxes go up. Your sales taxes go up. Your gas prices go up. Your cost of living goes up. Death by 1,000 cuts. And the knife, well, it's in Sacramento's hand. The auto industry just gave up on California. But it's not just cars. It's energy, it's tech, it's finance, it's people. 360 companies since 2018. 700,000 people in 2 years. And a governor who blames everyone else but himself. That factory in Fremont, right up the street from here, it's been through 3 lives. GM, NUMMI, Tesla. Every single time, California pushed too hard and it collapsed. California used to be where the future was built. Now, it's where the future comes to die. I'm Ramin. This is Real Talk. Hey, welcome to California.
Electricity rate in California.
So that was the breakdown from realtalk.all. He's over at TikTok. I think one of his videos was like blowing up the other day. This one is like 4 days ago. But yeah, he just kind of breaks down what's going on in California. I kind of messed up. I had my mic off when I was watching the video on a different scene, like a noob. But I also want to give out a shout out like to another channel that I go back and take a look at from time to time, because he kind of like cruises around on his bike and he does his little vlog as he's cruising through LA and just shows how chaotic it is. It's very entertaining. Cool dude. He actually made me want to buy one of them e-bikes to just cruise around too. But he just only drives through LA area. I mean, he has plenty of videos and it just shows how broken down the city is, which is really sad. And I think he cruised through Baldwin Park too, but I'm not sure. My question to you guys is, do you guys plan to leave California? And if so, where do you guys want to go? Please comment at the bottom. And for those who are watching, thank you for your time. Give me a like and subscribe if you guys like what we do here. And for those who recently subscribed, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Peace out. Oh, also FYI, I do stream video games at night whenever I have time. So if you guys are curious, stop by. I'm at Kick and Twitch. Yeah. Peace.
Lights fade by cool, that's the end of ride. Chris and Phillip held it down, the truth with pride. From the last to the